Customs and Border Protection says it's taking immediate steps to implement the executive order. We don't know if or when the more than 2,300 children already separated from their parents will be reunited. Hundreds of people gathered at New York's LaGuardia Airport last night to welcome children headed to one of more than 100 shelters in 17 states.
New video provided by the government offers a look inside a Florida shelter that holds about 1,200 kids, including many separated from their families. They're now being treated by the government as so-called unaccompanied children, just like minors who cross a border without their parents. David Begnaud at a shelter near the Mexican border in McAllen, Texas. David, good morning. As we keep hearing a lot of confusion this morning.
Good morning, Gayle. That's the New Hope facility behind me. An official with Catholic Charities, who you actually spoke with, gave us a heads up and said, listen, here at this facility, they have about 60 children, anywhere between 10 and 17 years old, and some of them have been separated from their parents. The question is, what happens next? You're going to hear from a government official who actually used to run the government's program that takes care of children separated from their parents. He did it under President Obama, and he said even then and now, the government is not equipped to handle this large number of children, not to mention trying to reunite them with their parents.
Alex Antonio and his 2-year-old son Jeremy were released after being initially detained for the maximum period of 72 hours. The release came around the same time President Trump signed his executive order. The Honduran man told us that while in custody, he heard that families were being separated, and he feared it would happen to him and Jeremy. For the more than 2,300 children already separated from their parents, the president's executive order may not change anything immediately.
There is currently no system in place to reunite children with parents who are in detention.
Bob Carey is an Open Society fellow. He used to run the Office of Refugee Resettlement under the Obama administration. That is the federal agency responsible for caring for separated children. Carey says ORR's shelter system was designed for minors who arrive at the border alone, typically adolescent boys, and is not really equipped for the influx of infants, toddlers, and young children that were separated from their parents under the president's zero-tolerance policy.
This is child abuse being perpetrated by a government.
Early yesterday morning, these girls arrived at a facility in New York City, which Mayor Bill de Blasio says is housing 239 separated children. The mayor says some of them arrived with contagious conditions like chickenpox and lice.
The youngest to come here, they told us, was 9 months old.
The U.S. government tells CBS News it keeps track of children with a unique identifier called an alien number. Name, age, gender, and country of origin are also recorded. Ofelia de los Santos, an official at Catholic Charities in Brownsville, Texas, says the shelters she's visited are well run, but
it's not about how nice a facility is. It's the fact that they're not with their parents. When they go to their beds at night, what do you think they think about?
Ophelia told us that from what she's seen, every time a child gets to a facility like this, they get medical and mental health screenings, if you will. And then the government works to figure out who already lives in the U.S. that's related to them. Government officials have insisted to us we try and find people here in the U.S. who can take them. But Norah, that process can sometimes take up to 2 months.
Oh my gosh, David, you really put it in perspective there, especially as Ophelia mentioned too. It's not about how well the shelters are run, it's just you're just there without your parents. You need someone to care for you in an emotional way.
And what I keep thinking too, when you're a real little kid, you don't even know your parents' name because you know them as mommy and daddy, or mommy and poppy in this particular case. So even if you ask a child, what is your parent's name, they may not even be able to tell you what the name of their parent is.